Hey everybody, this is Rebel Builder and I have a TIE Fighter MOC here for you. This is the Mining Guild TIE Fighter that we saw in Season 2 of Star Wars Rebels. This one is obviously very distinct because of the yellow coloring instead of the gray typical TIE Fighter coloring, but it also features this very distinct inverted front wing section here, and it proved to be quite a challenge to build. Let's start by looking at the cockpit section here. Now, if you've seen my other TIE Fighter MOC video, this section is going to look very familiar. I carried that same design over from the normal standard TIE Fighter MOC. I did make a couple of adjustments though. The two things that people pointed out that they would have liked to have seen in that MOC the most were blasters here in the front, so I included these this time. These are not spring-loaded shooters. You know, if you follow my channel, you know I'm not the biggest fan of those, and I'm probably vowing to never put spring-loaded shooters in one of my MOCs. So I came up with this design here. We have kind of a headlight piece here, and then the transparent red piece on the front there for the blasters. The other change I made is to the rear of the cockpit section here. I added the engines in. This is a transparent red tile and a headlight piece there. Now, I don't take credit for this design. On Reddit, I saw a user by the name of Brick Macklin. He built my TIE Fighter, gave me credit for it, and you know, he made a couple of modifications, which I do love to see. And this was one of the things he did. He also added spring-loaded shooters on the bottom because he wanted to have those blasters in the front. So I think this really does add a really cool element to the back, which, you know, my other version was kind of plain. So, hey, I really appreciated seeing that on Reddit and was really wanted to give him a shout out and add that modification to this version. Color-wise, I was able to get all of the parts that I wanted in the correct color, the only exception being this top cockpit piece there. But that's such a neat printed piece that I didn't mind having the gray on there. And in the show, they do have these sections of light gray that helps break up the yellow, gives it a little more contrast and distinction. So really, these pieces go together pretty well, and I'm happy how that looks. Now for the side panels, I mostly based it on the First Order TIE Fighter design. You know, we've got these hinge pieces here on the corner, tiles kind of going all the way around, you know, the size, the angle of the wings here, that's all straight out of the First Order TIE Fighter. The biggest challenge of this MOC was creating this inverted look of the side panels here. So I kept the angle here of these braces going across here, so I wanted that exact same angle. So same design here, I have these hinges, and the problem here is you can't really get all of the black wedges to match that angle. So you can see, if you really look at it on the inside here, you can see I do have a couple of gaps, but really this 1x12 yellow plate, you know, that hides it very well, especially considering this is black. It doesn't stand out too much. One aspect to this design that I didn't really figure out a solution for is these braces going along the front here. Like, I got the angle in there. I'm really happy how that looks. But these hinges are the only thing that are really holding this in place. I couldn't actually get this section secure, and the same with these tile sections in front. These are all based just on the hinge, but you know, you get them in place and you can't really tell. And I added the bracing on the inside of the side panels, the solar panels here. You know, I think that really does add some detail. And these things get pretty thick. That's one thing that's really hard to do. You know, building with Lego, trying to build something really thin like these TIE Fighters. But all in all, I think that turned out pretty well. And here in this middle section of the side panels, again, just trying to match the design of the other TIE Fighters, included this round 2x2 tile, you know, with that same pattern that we have printed on the other TIE Fighters. And in the episode of Star Wars Rebels, there were Rhodian pilots flying these, part of the Mining Guild again, so went ahead and included a Rhodian pilot in here. And if anybody's curious how I built this middle section here, I do have a tutorial on my gray TIE Fighter MOC. It kind of steps you through the whole process, shows you the parts that you need. So if you want to check that out and build your own, I'm going to put a little link up here in the cards. You can check that video out. Now this MOC is something I've had in the works for a very long time. The first moment I saw this ship in the trailer for Season 2 of Star Wars Rebels, I knew I wanted to build it. But it's been a challenge, and I've started and stopped this build a couple of times. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I've been working on it for quite a while, been collecting parts on Bricklink. But here it is. I'm finally happy to have this thing put together. I think it looks very distinct. It's very unique. This inverted section here, that was a challenge, and I'm proud of how I worked that thing out. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, everybody, so leave me a comment down below. I'd love to get some feedback on this thing. Thumbs up this video, and if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I've got some cool builds coming in the future. You don't want to miss out on those. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll be back soon.